The last we left the Lost Legion, the party had come into the city of Skorahalt, the capital of No Hayden, where they broke up to do various tasks. Some went enchanting, some went uh, looking for money and ways to earn money, while others went and visited the speech of a king, the king of the region specifically. Uh, right after that speech, an assassination attempt occurred, and in doing so, the party fought and chased down some of those assassins, not exactly being successful. After getting captured by the guards and delving into the sewers, they managed to find a few leads and a few questions as well from some of the information they found. After that, the party decided to spend the next day or so recuperating, figuring out what to do next, finding information, and more in the city. Gundor went and fought a fight, earning himself 400 gold. Alavar, being the perky coach he is to Gundor's side. Zaris attempting to also find some form of funding for the group. Attempted his bardic tendencies in music and merriment on the street, and not being so successful. So, managing to track down one or two bounties and earning himself a little bit of gold. While Xiao worked on teaching herself a little more alchemy and learning a few things in the process, while only being slightly successful. And then that leaves us to Leah, our main character for the evening. After learning of some things and wanting to find out more, she went to the only place that she could think where information would be readily available. She went to the Calicophora Maxima, the main research center and library of No Hayden, specifically for the Calicophora, the wizards guild across the world. In attempting to gain access to the library, the somewhat mousy, snotty, and, for lack of a better term, bitchy, uh, front desk lady, um, not allowing her access without proper sponsorship, she snuck in with her wolf and decided now might be a good time to sneak under a door and see what's behind. The night passed, and the party regrouped, noticing the next morning that Leah was nowhere to be found. After retracing a few steps, the party had also ended up at the Calicophora Maxima, where they, um, again, attempted to gain access, finding a lost and happy to be found Z, and also proceeded to make a friend in one of the archobiologists. But we're not at that point in the story yet. While Leah managed to sneak her way in, she ended up in the restricted section of the library as a butterfly, crawling underneath of a door. And this is where we leave her off. So, Leah, you're in a dark room filled with bookshelves and locked cages of books on shelves. What would you like to do?
Um, I guess I will flutter around the room and try to find, look at titles and authors.
Okay. All right. So you flutter around. Make an investigation check.
Okay.
All right. Um, as you're flying around, unfortunately, because the books are so large in comparison to you, you're not able to really get too good of details. Like you can focus on like word by word, but you can't get like full titles just because you're so small.
Hmm. I guess I will transform into myself again.
Okay. So you land on the floor and proceed to come out of your butterfly form, your wings falling away, and your cloak coming out once again. It's dark, but your elven eyes allow you to see. And it's not exactly a small room. I would say it's probably about 40-foot square. Um, there seems to be a central desk that's kind of L-shaped, um, and a few half-melted candles and some oil lamps strewn about across the room. Um, there is a second set of double doors and a single door uh, off to the side, opposite wall to the double doors that you've entered.
I think I'll investigate the double doors, see if they're unlocked.
Okay. Um, so you go up and you kind of try to jiggle the handle and push it. The double door seems to be locked.
Okay. How about the single door?
The single door on trying to just ever so slightly jiggle the handle is not locked.
Okay. I guess I'll proceed and see what's in there.
Okay. And as you open up, um, you see that there's it's a narrow corridor. It's a basically like a 3 foot wide corridor with a set of steps that are going down into darkness.
Can I hear anything down there?
Make a perception check. All right. So as you attempt to just listen ever so closely, nothing.
I guess I'll go take a look. Got nothing to lose.
All right.
Oh no, I fucked up.
So you slowly, as you creep down, still, making sure to listen and to, keep an eye out. It's just a very thin, shallow corridor as you step, 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 step down the stairs. It goes on for about another 20 or so feet till it bottoms out and continues going. And you see a slight bit of light coming from the end of the corridor. What do you wish to do?
Um, can can I? Can I? I don't know. Can I find traps? It's one of my spells.
Oh, you want to cast Find Traps?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, certainly.
Spells. It's in my like booklet, but it's not.
Yeah, I know what it is. Is there a roll for that spell,
Oh yeah, let me see.
or does it just happen?
I don't see there being a roll on there
Okay.
on the card.
I put it in chat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm reading it now. Okay. Okay. Also, Rach, I corrected your spell points,
Oh,
so you're all you're all good to go.
okay.
So just make sure to keep track of what spell points you're using as you're using spells.
Okay.
All right. So as you quickly, you know, do your incantation, um, you do not sense any traps within range.
Okay. How many spell points does that use?
3, I believe.
Okay.
Is it? It's 3 for a second level, right?
Let's see.
Alavar, Zars.
Find traps is a level 2 spell.
Yeah. How many spell points is that? Is that 3?
Yeah, first level. Yeah, it's 3.
Okay.
All right, then I'll keep walking towards the light.
All right. As you get closer and closer, um, you notice the little corridor actually splits off into a main hallway. This one's about 7 feet, 8 feet wide. Um, but there's just a single tallow candle on a little wall mount that's just burning. But that's it. And
Nothing.
as you look down to the left and the right, uh, your dark vision, um, you can see within 30 feet there's nothing. Um, but off to the right hand side, there's 2 sets of doors down the hallway. There's a double set of doors to the left, about 15 feet into the dim light, and then about 25 feet, pretty much right on the edge of where your dark vision goes to not being able to see, on the right hand side of the thing. As you look to the left, um, it looks like uh, about 40 feet out, it opens up into a circular area.
Hmm. Can I? I don't know. detect any type of magic?
So you want to cast Detect Magic?
No. I don't have that spell. Like,
Prepared.
yeah.
Okay. So which do you want to go, left or right?
I guess I'll go right to the where like the doors are, not the circular room.
Okay. Do you want to go to that first set of double doors or
Yeah, the closer of the two.
Okay. Okay. So you go up to the room, and as you get closer, you now see that there's a few sets of doors in this area. Um, some are double, some are single, but
They like labeled or anything?
um, not that you can see. But as you come up to this one set of double doors, roll a perception check.
Okay.
All right. You don't see this door being labeled at all. You search the edges, you search above. There's no kind of labeling.
Am I able to open the door?
hmm Yep. So you open up the door ever so slightly. You take a peek in. Um, and it's pitch black in here. There's no light sources from the inside. You see a large stone figure sitting there in the center. It's standing. This chamber is probably about 30 feet tall, 30 to 40 feet tall. Um, but you notice that the stone figure in the center is actually in pieces. So even though it's standing, there's an arm that's like off to the side. Um, there seems to be like a table off to the back. There's some chisels and various stoneworking tools that are laid about. But that's all that's in the room.
Does this have any significance to me?
Um, roll an Arcana check. Did you find Arcana?
I did, I rolled.
Oh, it's not showing up for me.
It was a 9 and a 21.
Hmm. Just try hitting it one more time.
Nah, you gotta spam that shit.
All right, so 11. Um, although you have no experience with it personally, you've heard from researchers at Blue that there's ways to create um magical assistance Sometimes it's not real clear, but looks like it could potentially be a construct of some sort.
God, like they're trying to build a god or something.
You don't know.
Okay. I'm going to leave and close this door.
All right, so you close the door. All right, where do you want to go?
Well, there's the double doors, and then there's the circle room. I guess I'll go check out the double doors since I'm down this hallway.
Okay, so you go to the next set of double doors, and same procedure.
Yep.
All right. You uh, open up the door again, and you slowly open it up, and you take a peek, and this room is completely different. Um, it's a square room, marble. There seems to be ever burning blue torches that are all around. Um, there seems to be a stone, a kind of like table, white and pristine, just like the rest of the marble stone. Um, and there seems to be a figure on top of that.
Uh, like laying down on it.
Yes, not moving.
Uh, is this thing alive or like?
Uh, from what you can tell, you can't tell. You just know that it's not moving. And perception check for me, just to see how much detail you can pick off.
The fuck did I walk?
Okay. So you see there's a couple of tables. There looks to be some sort of like a rolling cart and stuff. Um, and you can see there's metallic objects in like a tray of some sort. And the figure on the table is, even though it's humanoid, it's deformed, uh, twisted in some sense. Where there should be a head, there's, um, almost like a bulbous secondary form, um, and there seems to be, instead of arms, almost like a scythe, kind of shaped hook, like a hooked barb, and instead of arms, laying to each side, and the legs are twisted. They're not bipedal like you would expect us to have. It's more dog shaped, um, backwards facing almost. It's a very grotesque look, as there's um, not even flesh, but just raw muscle that's exposed and visible. Blood kind of spills off the edges of the table, um, as almost pussy and porous wounds, lay on top of this creature.
Uh, well, this is very dark. I don't think I've seen something like this. Like this seems really like not the type of magic I ever researched or anything. At this point, I probably would like to leave and go back up the stairs that I came.
Okay. Alright, so you come back to the same tallow candle, you make the left, you go back upstairs, quickly disturbed by the things that you've seen, but yeah, trying to stay quiet as well so you're not caught, if should anyone be down here.
Can I cast Pass Without Trace?
Yeah, you can, certainly.
Alright.
Um, so you open the door and close it behind you, and you're back in that same dark uh, room with all the books and caged uh, sh- shelving units and things like that.
Am I able to see the books better now that I'm not butterfly?
Yes, and I'm gonna say make a perception check, but this time a lot easier because you're not, a little 2-inch butterfly. Natural 20. There we go. All right. So with a 26, um, you look about, and there's various topics. You see some on, you know, various magical artifacts, names that you don't recognize, and some names that you do. Various researchers throughout the ages or published works, you know, things things of interest. Um, you see some very old tomes that have no titles whatsoever, and you see behind some of these caged, um, sections. You see books that seem to almost suck up what little bit of light there is. Even though there is no light, it seems even darker around the book. You see some books that seem to almost emanate light, glowing as if, you know, there was a slight flicker of a candle from far away, but no burning. You see some books that seem scorched and some books that seem to have almost like a permafrost bound to them. Um, it's just a cacophony of books. One book that does take your notice is not behind the um, the thing. Is a book titled "The Queen and Her Rising."
Um, that's the book that I noticed. I will go take it off the shelf and
Okay. Um, do you want to look at it and start
yeah,
perusing it? Okay.
yeah.
I'll say that gleaning information quickly is relatively easy, as you're a researcher and happen to know. So you quickly begin perusing, and uh, actually on the same subject of many of the other things before, and the reason why it caught your eye. Um, this is about the Raven Queen, and just glancing through specifically, it stems into what her believed origins are and um, what potential lineages might have been passed on from her should she have had any children, what the implications of having mortal children and then becoming a god, and what that would imply to those mortals. Um, how the weave uh, was affected when another god was added, and it's just pages and pages, and you keep going, um, and then it begins to detail her rise to becoming a god within the realm, the process of how one would, the steps, what potential consequences, and then you get to a final page and the rest of the book is blank. Almost as if it was never written. You just page and page and page, and the rest of the book is blank. And as soon as it really started detailing those steps and the requirements and what was necessary, there was nothing to be found.
Do you think it's like someone removed the information? Not like removed it, but like didn't want someone to obviously find out how to do that.
Potentially. Gleaning over the book, you put it back on the shelf, and you continue to look, um, and you find another book that seems to pique your interest. Um, this one is interesting in the sense that it has no title, but it simply has a gold inlaid eye drawn the um, into the binding, and when you pull it out, um, the leather almost turns from this kind of shiny purple to almost like a black, and the front of it is an arcane sigil. It's a single circle with three inner circles. In the center of these circles is a single eye, also inlaid with gold. Um, and as you begin to look at the book, um, you can see almost like you feel like you're being watched almost as you begin to look at the front cover of this book, just like somebody was staring over your shoulder.
Can I dispel magic? Do I feel like there's a
Certainly.
magical sense to this?
Potentially. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be magical in here. But if you want to dispel magic, go ahead and roll a d20 for me. And then add your proficiency bonus. Or your spell modifier.
And it's /R 1d20.
Yep.
And my spell modifier, that's on my spell sheet.
Yeah, it should be on your spells list.
And it's the modifier. Spell save DC or
Uh, no. It's the one next to it.
the spell attack bonus?
Yep, that one. Okay. You cast the spell, and you feel it begin to take hold, and then it dissipates almost. And
What?
you see like it build almost like a crystalline lattice around the book, and then shatter as you hold it. And you swear just for a moment, right after that crystalline lattice broke, you saw the eye blink.
Wow, they're into some pretty dark shit, aren't they?
Yikes.
You got something to say? Judge my religion.
I mean, if they're flaying things, yeah. Like,
Fair point. Fair point.
Okay. So like like this lattice that broke, was it like the magic being dispelled off the book?
Yeah, it was essentially the lattice trying to encase the book, and it, even though it took effect, it broke. Like something external was preventing the dispellation. Or dispelling? Dispellation?
So
I
it
don't
didn't
know.
work, is that what you're saying?
Yes, it didn't work, but it seemed like it didn't work from an external force. Not like it resisted, but something prevented it.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll try like
you're gonna get my
open the
tower here.
book. Can I open the book? Like
Yeah. So when you open the book,
I don't have poison in this deck.
let's see.
Yeah, GG.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't have poison in this deck. I'm changing that. With a witch meta, I need to have poison in here.
Mic not muted.
Mike is not
Oh,
muted.
sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. Um, what languages do you know?
quite a bit.
I know, that's why I'm asking, because I don't remember.
Let's see. Common, Druidic, Elvish, Sylvan, and Undercommon.
You do not know this language.
Okay.
And um, as you're attempting to read this, it it's hard to understand what this could even be. Like, it's I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's like dots and swipes of ink in lines and in various things, but the language, the speech isn't straight. It's curving and twisting and intertwining, and it spirals further and further inward, and the text is moving. And shifting, almost like a current or a serpent in water. And it's twisting and shifting and moving. And you turn to the next page, and it's the same thing. It's just more twisting and turning and. I want you to make a wisdom saving throw. Okay. As you're looking and you're trying to understand, it's almost as if the twisting and spiraling uh, words seem to almost lift up off the page and become these tendrils, and they try to like grasp at your face as you're trying to read, and you pull back and you close um the book, and the tendrils dissipate.
I'm gonna put the book on back on the shelf.
Okay. At that moment, you begin to hear two sets of footsteps. And they seem to be getting louder and closer to the double set of doors.
What double set of doors? The ones I.
The one that was locked, that you weren't, that you didn't come from, the one that was locked that you tried.
Mhm.
What do you do?
I'm gonna turn into a bat.
Okay. You turn into a bat. I want you to roll a stealth check. And also +10 because pass without a trace. So, I actually need to find the stealth stats for the bat.
Matt, John, y'all still awake?
Yeah, I'm still here. I don't know about
What about
John.
John?
I don't know about that.
Se-
Haven't heard him in a minute.
Seems like that's a negative.
John. Let me text Frankie. I'll give you an update in a couple minutes.
It's okay if
Don't,
he's
don't
asleep.
wait.
Just
Didn't
leave
you,
him
are you not there?
Well, then I'm there. I don't want to go upstairs and wake him.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm
Yeah, I
just
was
gonna
like, I
text
thought
his
you guys live
girlfriend.
together now.
Yeah, his girlfriend should be awake.
All right, so yeah, 30.
No.
You flutter and you uh, grasp onto a section of the ceiling, actually up in the one of the two candelabras that are uh, in the rafters. Um, you hear the footsteps stop, and you hear some keys jingle on the other side, and the locking mechanism of the door turn and tumble and click. You you see two figures step in, both cloaked. One in the very familiar gray and purple robes of the followers of Ganudar, that you know so well from Blikax. While the other figure is bluish robes with gold trim. Um, you can't necessarily see facial structure, but the person in blue is taller than the follower of Ganodar. The door is shut and swiftly locked. They have two candles with them. And they go to the center desk. All right. Is this a good place to talk? I do not know. Okay. I mean, although we have very specific ways to prevent. No, it's not considered magical.
Really?
Yeah, it's an innate ability. It is not considered magical.
But it
'Cause
is a
you
magical
can't-
transformation.
It's an innate ability of the druids, though.
Yeah,
So it's not like a spell. It's just an ability.
Well, I know,
It's like-
I know it's an ability, but
yeah, it's like divine magic, but Mike Merles has done a few Twitter things and they've
Mark?
answered that.
Mark Merle, the guy
Or-
who made League.
No, Mike Merle.
huh?
That's
Yeah.
funny. There's a Mike Merle and a Mark Merle.
Yeah,
Mark
they've
Merle.
they've answered questions about whether it's considered magical or not, and they have said even though it's magical, it is an innate ability and cannot be dispelled.
So that's like a ruling kind of thing.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. So that's just like an inconsistency that they didn't really think of when they wrote it.
Right. It's like the whole, you know, crit versus non-crit on 20s for skill checks. Like
Right.
it's whatever you want to make it, kind of thing.
Got it.
But I follow Twitter, and I try to get the answers from the people who make it. So that's what they said.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I was like, wait, if they cast anti-magic zone right now, is Leah gonna fall from the ceiling and crash? Like,
Yeah, no. I mean, her pass without a trace would give up, but she will not convert from a bat.
okay.
Yeah. Anyways. Alright, look. I don't know why you and your cohorts are here, but we cannot have you meddling in the everyday business. Well, if you must really know why we are here, and kind of looks around a little bit. There was a man here about a month or two ago. We followed him here from another location. Said he was a researcher of some sort. Said he was looking into some magical thing or another, trying to find a place. And he started asking questions. Too many questions, to be honest. What kind of questions was he asking? It's just simply a man coming in saying that he's a researcher from another facility doesn't necessarily mean or imply anything. He just could be simply doing his job. Yes, but he was asking questions about unsavory people, unsavory events. Specifically, someone whose name shall never roam the halls of any location within the Calicophora. You're not meaning. Yes. Unfortunately, anyone asking about said figure, we have reason to believe that they might be involved with something. Would you happen to have any inkling as to why somebody would be crawling around here and snooping and asking about things such as? I mean, there could be a multitude of reasons why someone would come in here and start asking questions like that, but simply the allegation that just a random person is involved with any kind of cult or, the worship of a figure such as what you are implying is just. But let me ask you this: did you bear witness to this man? Did he uh, specifically come to you for questions or anything? I mean, I might be the second in command to the Magnus himself for this location, but I personally did not meet him. He did request um, either the Magnus or myself's appearance, but I was simply too busy at the time. I did not have the chance to entertain him in coming. I mean, I understand that he has, from what I found out from the people that he was able to get in contact with, much pull within Blickaxe, but uh, I simply do not know um, what he was doing here and why. Look, and the shorter figure looks around again. If there is any inkling that any portion of the cult of Vecna is back anywhere, we've had enough issues over with trying to recover all those artifacts and lost knowledge of the demonic wars 400 years ago, but Vecna ascended to godhood 2 millennia ago, and he was stopped. If the cult is attempting to bring him back to the plane in any form, avatar or not, it could be disastrous. Simply not knowing and having anyone asking where their tongues should be tied is no good for anyone. Look, we are here simply to do research and to store knowledge. Okay? There's already enough issues trying to maintain, uh, the research involved with what happened with the Undead Wars 800 years ago. And we are just beginning to delve into scratching the surface there. Along with, the few researchers here who are doing research into the demonic, incursions that happened. I simply do not have the resources to put towards an internal investigation such as this. Well, then let us do our part. We will not bother you, we are simply observing and watching out for those who might have ties to this man. I don't want to imply that Blikax itself has become a center, but if it has, we must quell what has happened there. And if it means making some people disappear and, making sure that secrets do not get out where secrets shall not be, then you being in your position understand what must be done. The other figure kind of puts their hand up to their face, rubs rubs their forehead. Okay, fine. You can have 10 days here and search high and low, ask questions all you want. You have my permission. But if you get in the way of our day-to-day research and our ability, I am going to have to request that you leave. Simply one man asking around about the cult of Vecna and, potential whereabouts of temples and things like that. Archaeological research happens every day and people ask questions like that all the time. I cannot simply go on a wild goose chase just to chase down one man. There's enough other problems across the globe. Erudis herself is a problem, from what we've been finding out in our research. Whether or not the anomaly will have any effect in... and he kind of waves his hands around. The overall, realm is another thing to be determined, but that's just my opinion from my research that I perform. But what am I to say? We will not get in your way. We will not pose any risks. Just simply let us do our jobs. Let us ask our questions, and we will be on our way. And if we find any connections, if we find any losses or words, we will get back to you, and we will inform you to make sure that you can, how you say, discipline your various people within your facility. And once you give the signal, we will discipline them further. Then it's a deal. You have 10 days to find whatever you are looking for. And afterwards you leave, no questions asked, no harm done. Before then, if you find anything, you report to me and to the Magnus himself. So we have a deal. They both shake hands. And the shorter, robed figure kind of looks around and nods, and they begin unlocking the door, opening up, and close the door behind them, locking it. And you hear the footfalls. Louder, louder, quieter, quieter. Till you hear nothing.
Shit. So the guy, not the blue robe, but the one from Big Legs. Gray and purple robe guy. Was he somebody I would have known?
I'm gonna say make a history check with disadvantage. You don't recognize this voice. It's not a voice that you've heard before, necessarily. Although the accent is familiar, and it's Silesian, the accent. It's not one that you've heard at Blikax before in your time there. They could be from Blikax, they could not be, but you can't tell.
Did my professor ever talk to me about, like, Avecna?
From your recollection, no, he wouldn't have. He made no mention of Vecna to you.
Would I know that and its history?
What, Vecna?
Yeah.
Roll a religion check. Good rolls.
Sweet.
So, you know from your research, there is multiple gods, and especially those involved with knowledge and learning and things. Ganudar is your god of knowledge, keeper of knowledge, kind of like an archivist, almost archiving everything that there possibly could be archived within the realm. Then you have his underling, Ogma. Ogma is kind of like the head librarian, one would say. He is where Ganudar is kind of like an amorphous figure that seems to have no form. Almost most people recognize him in the form of a beholder or a beholder-like creature. Instead of a solid form, kind of wispy black smoke, tendrils with yellow eyes. Very similar to that book that you actually picked up. Underneath of Ogma, and actually remembering now to those stained glass windows, there's your guardians of the library. Ayun, Ozula the Observer, and Raymundus the Retentive. These three pick up various duties within the, how you say, interplanar library system. They are the keepers of books, observer of major events, and more. And then there's Vecna. Vecna is the god of secrets. He is the keeper of all things that should not be kept. He was originally a lich that ascended to godhood by finding lost secrets of how the Raven Queen came to power. And in performing the rituals himself, became a god. After he ascended to godhood and attempted to attack the library of the realms, the Guardians as well as Ogma fought him and pushed him back, sealing him away in an inner plane within the Shadowfell, not to be seen again. But with every secret comes more secrets. And even though he's gone, there's always the ever potential that he could return. Because lost techniques to the ages, or techniques that have just been discovered but never told, could potentially be found out by him so that he could come back. And his cultists, or at least those that are left and survive, are ever attempting to bring back their undead lord to rule over the realm and learn all that shouldn't be learned.
Is that the shit that I saw down in the basement?
You don't know. I mean, those could be just various forms of research. You know, you're not sure.
Alright. Well, now I'm a bat. And I should probably get out of here.
Okay. So what do you do?
Well, there's no opening in the door, and I'm a bat. And that was my second being. I mean, can I go and see if I can squeeze in there, being a bat?
So where do you want to go as a bat?
To the front, to the door that the two figures entered, where I came through, as a butterfly.
Alright, so you crawl, you flutter down, and you kind of attempt to crawl, and you can only get your nose and your wing underneath of the door. You won't exactly fit.
other type of like open way or that.
As you can see, there aren't really any other openings around the room.
Do I know if buy like anytime soon? Or like should I just wait it out till like the door opens and then stay out when I have the chance?
You can try that, yeah. But your wild shape only lasts you 3 hours. Just to let you know.
Christ. Is there a way to like unlock the door from the inside?
You can certainly try. I'm not sure what spells you have, but there are some spells that could help you out of this room.
Yeah, that's true.
And, you do always have going back downstairs again.
Fucking Christ.
You're not getting out of this one.
Do I have to go downstairs again?
I mean, I do know of one spell that you could use to get out of this situation.
Call lightning.
Yes.
Oh god. I don't know if I have it prepared though.
Call lightning?
He's joking. He's absolutely joking. Do not call
No.
lightning.
I am
Yes,
not. I have
do
an
it.
animal messenger.
Book call lightning.
Can I like talk to Z or something? Like
No, it has to be an animal that you can see to use messenger.
Yeah.
Wait, can you not just wait for them to leave and open the door and then fly out?
No, her wild shape will run out before then.
Yeah,
and
the
they
doors,
already-
they already locked the door and left.
Oh,
Wait,
she
can't
didn't.
she just
She
turn into, like, a
she
beetle?
didn't fly
No, a
out when they
bat.
left.
Yeah,
No,
but
she
like,
didn't.
can't you just change your form to a beetle and then go underneath the door?
She's out of wild shapes.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
She
Ooh.
turned. Yeah, she turned into a butterfly to get in, and she turned into a bat to hide.
Isn't it half of her druid level?
No, you only get 2 wild shapes, but the length of time that you can stay an animal is half your druid level.
Oh.
Oh, you on
Oh shit.
you on the clock too?
Oh my fucking god. Fuck. What am I supposed to do downstairs? I mean, there's the circle room, but I don't want to go back down there. But I'm a bat, so what's gonna happen to me? I'm a freaking bat.
Said every courageous hero right before a TPK.
Well, what spells do you have?
Paired wise,
Yeah.
I have Cure Wounds, Speak with Animals, Locate Animal Plants, Entangle, Thunderwave, Healing Word, Find Traps, Call Lightning, Dispel Magic,
Hey.
Druid Craft, Thorn Whip, Mending, Web, Spider, Gaseous Form.
Gaseous form. That will
Now,
save you.
Read that one again.
Gaseous Form.
Don't just
but
give her the answer, Matt. just.
I'm
I
just,
was trying to like
okay.
hint towards it. And you
I
just,
didn't
like,
know that.
No, I
what the
mean,
hell?
no, I mean Rachel is newer to the game, so I'll say it's okay to
My
give her some
bad.
tips because she doesn't necessarily know all the ins and outs like we do.
Well, yeah, that's why I was like trying to like get her to figure it out because then she remembers for later. It's like if somebody asks for help on their homework, you don't do it for them, you help them.
Yeah, but it
That's
says
debatable.
you transform a willing creature, touch, along with everything it's wearing, into a misty cloud.
You
Well,
are
I
a
mean,
creature and you are willing.
Yeah, you
and
can
you
do
can
it
touch
yourself.
Okay, all right then.
Oh my
yeah.
god, Anthony, that sounded so dirty.
Uh,
Maybe it's just my
really,
head.
Jesus Christ, you guys.
I am not watching what I'm saying right now because I'm really tired.
Thank you,
Demonetize.
Twitch. Thank you,
All right.
Twitch.
This bat is gonna light it up and become a gas.
All right, so you go out of your bat form because you can't cast spells in bat form. And you take your action. You convert yourself into a gaseous bubble. So you are now a misty cloud of cloud. So where do you want to see about trying to go?
Out the door.
Which door?
Like the front door, the one that came in.
Okay. So this time being able to fit through, you actually go through like the keyhole. You just kind of like squeeze your way in there, and you pop back out in this misty form. But Z is gone. And I'd say at this point it's getting around dusk to dark. About because you showed up at about 3. I'd say it's probably pushing about 6-ish, 7-ish.
So this is still like, this is the same day for me,
Yes.
and like everyone at this point is at a different spot. How does this work in the timeline? Because I thought
We've already done what the day you're on. Everyone else has already done their stuff.
Yeah. So like, at this point, Alavar and Gundor would be at the fight. Zaris would be searching for the thief, and Shao would be in her bedroom mixing chemicals.
I guess I'd go look for Z, but I don't know where those Arco, people are. Guess can I go to like the main hall, like the main hallway, where like
Yeah, sure. So you fly your way up to the ceiling and kind of making sure that nobody's able to see you. You know, edge your way across the ceiling to the main hallway. So you're in the main hall now.
can't see Z.
Make a perception check. Nope, Z is nowhere to be seen.
Can I keep, I don't know, moving around trying to find?
Sure. How long do you want to attempt to try to find Z?
Sure. Maybe a couple minutes.
Okay. So you go around, you fly up and down the hall, you looking at groups of people and things like that. I'd say you're probably at about 30 minutes left on your gaseous form.
Oh, I have a spell. Locate animals or plants.
And actually, I'd say with that perception check, as you're flying around and looking, you catch in your eye, as you're flying by, um, a similarly shaped figure in a silver and purple robe.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Wonder if I could talk to them, but I don't want to start any problems. But if they're a purple person, they're from Big Lax.
Not necessarily.
Uh-huh.
You know from experience, because some of them have visited Blikax before. It's almost like a more religious subsector of the Calicophora. They are the followers of Ganudar.
Okay.
So they're kind of like the monasteries and the monks that you know kind of hold the libraries and make sure things that aren't supposed to get out don't get out, and they're kind of like the hidden fist of the Calicophora.
Got it.
So what are you thinking of doing?
I don't know. I'd either like talk to the guy, but I don't know if he would like question me why I'm there, or like is there places I haven't explored looking for Z?
I mean, you've flown around the main hall and he's not there. You've flown around the library, he's not there. So,
Does she know what happened last session?
um, well, I believe I told you, Rachel, but I don't remember if you remember what I told you.
The Arco biologists were hanging out with Z. But I don't know like where they are in the library.
Right. But also, um, 12, essentially you have like almost 14 to 15 hours uh where you can do whatever you want. Um but Z ends up with the other part of the party. So,
Z's okay.
yeah. So you have about 15 hours.
Jesus. That's a long time. But the thing is, like, I'm not going to, like, can't transform anymore. And I just left the restricted section. I'm probably not going to get back in there.
So what are you thinking?
I don't know. Is there another place I could, like, explore in the library? But
I mean, there's classrooms, there's research laboratories, there's offices, there's the library itself, there's the restricted section, there's the basement, which you were in. But I mean, it's up to you what you really want to do.
no. I mean, as scary as the basement was, I'd like to know what was in that circle room. But I'd have to, like, sneak through the keyhole again and go back down there.
I mean, you still have 30 minutes of your gaseous form.
I think I could, like, make it down there and back up in that time.
I think you could, yeah. If you were to double dash and work your way, yeah, you'd probably be able to get into the restricted area by the time your gaseous form would give up.
Oh, but I could always, like, use it again. Because it's not like it's a spell.
Right, exactly.
Alright. I guess, you know, by not being able to find Z, looking everywhere I could, I guess I would go back into the restricted section. Here's the
Alright.
keyhole.
So going through the keyhole again, underneath of the door, you end up in the library section of the restricted section. Where do you want to proceed from here?
We'll follow on the basement.
Okay, so you go underneath of that door and fly your way down, and by the time you get to the bottom of the steps, the spell dispels and you land on your feet again. And you're now in a dark hallway with the single candle light in the front of you, down in the basement. You go up to the intersection, left, right. You're all clear. How do you want to proceed?
I'll go the opposite direction.
Okay, so you're going towards the circle room?
Yep.
Okay. So, as you get there, it opens up. There's a few candles, candelabras, and wall-mounted tallow candles throughout this, and you notice there is the walkway actually splits into a circular 8-foot rim with a four-way intersection, and then there is a set of there's a platform and a set of circular steps that go down.
So, like, there's the steps to go down, and you said there's a four-way intersection?
Yep. So you're let's say you're coming from east. So there is a west direction, a north direction, and a south direction, and then there is downwards.
So it seems like all these, like, corridors are meeting here.
Yep. Essentially.
Alright, I guess I will go down the steps.
All right. So you go down the stairs, taking your time, step by step. And it's just this. There isn't a continuing spiral staircase. It goes down maybe like a floor, probably a good another 30 to 40 feet deep, though, is a single floor. So you circle around once or twice, but you come to rest, and again, it's a circular room with a northeast and south direction.
Any light?
There's lights every, I would say, maybe 150, 200 feet. They're very sparse, and for the places that there are light, doesn't seem like somebody would come down here and maintain them. So they're probably you know, like magical of some sort. So which way do you want to go?
I guess I'll go north.
Okay, so you go north. You're walking. Probably about 50 feet, there's a double set of doors to your right. And the hallway continues.
I don't like this. Guess I'll open the doors.
Okay. You find a decently well lit room. It seems there are table to the left, and a couple of pedestals to the left, and there seems to be a circular, almost bath in the center. Do you want to continue, or do you want to go in?
There's just bath. I mean, what am I? Like, would I have? Would I know what type of research be?
I would say maybe make an insight check. Okay. There's a few different types of magic that could utilize water. And but the thing is water and the apparatus you see on the various pedestals to the left you've never seen before. You see a set of blacked out goggles. You see what look to be like leather, um, like leather bladders, almost, and just a couple of other um, various implements you don't recognize.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be interested in checking it out.
Okay. So you continue?
Yeah.
Okay. You continue walking. You continue walking. Um, to your right, there is another set of double doors, about another 100 feet down.
Okay. I'll check that out.
Okay. This seems to be a decently large room, probably about 50 by 50. And it looks to just be shelves upon shelves upon shelves. And on those shelves, there seems to be boxes and vials and tubes and other various supplies.
Maybe some stuff for like potions or.
I mean, if you want, you can take a look.
Sure.
Okay. Roll an investigation check for me. Nice, nice. So, in your investigation, you find a few things. Looking around, you find a couple of potions, or at least fluids that you believe to be potions. You find a um, a red one bottle filled with a red fluid that seems to have a silverish kind of shimmer to it. Do you take it?
Sure. Yeah, I'll put it into my bag.
Okay. Um, you also find a bottle that seems to have a almost like a cloud of pink floating inside of it.
This is more of like a gaseous type thing.
Yeah, it's a clear liquid, but it seems to the liquid seems to have a almost you know, a cloud that floats inside of it.
Guess I'll take that too.
Okay. And you also find um, various bottles and ingredients and things like that. Um, is there anything you're interested particularly in?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. So you exit the room, you shut the door, and you continue down the hallway.
Continue north?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say with that investigation and looking through everything and stuff, you're probably pushing about 9 o'clock at night now. So, um, so at that point, about another 50 feet, and you get to a large double set of iron doors, and the hallway turns to the right.
Okay. Am I able to go, like, open the iron doors?
As you go up to the iron doors, it seems to have some sort of mechanism, and on each of the doors inscribed in it is some sort of arcane sigil.
Okay. So you're saying it's not like I need something to open it?
Well, if you attempt to open it, you can't. It doesn't budge.
Okay. I guess I'll pass and continue right.
Okay. You keep going. You keep going. Um, and there is about another 100 feet down. Double doors to your left. Double doors to your right.
So I'll explore the ones on the left first.
Okay. Um, when you open this one, uh, in a similar fashion to that room with the creature, this one also has lots of light and um, like marble walls and marble flooring, and it's fairly bright in here. And this one has large glass tubes with metal bases and metal ceilings embedded in it. In some of them, there are liquid, but in others, you can see humanoid shapes. Just kind of floating in the fluid.
So it's just like a basic room with these tubes with people in them,
Mhm.
basically.
I'd say there's probably about 12 tubes.
With people in them.
Yeah, total. There's probably about 20, but 12 of them have people. Some dwarves, some human, uh, some elves. You see one dragonborn.
Can I check out the other room?
Okay. As you close that door and open up the door to the other room, that one uh, seems to be also decently well lit, but seems to be empty. It's circular, about 30 feet in diameter. But on the floor, there is a large arcane sigil that is inscribed in it, deeply carved and inlaid with some sort of blue glass, it seems, almost as if it was poured into the floor.
Can I go like approach this sigil?
Yeah, sure. So as you approach the sigil, um, it does nothing, and you look and stuff, and it seems to be you've seen these before, actually, at Blikax and other locations within the Calicophora. This is a teleportation circle.
So this what, like transports you to planes and stuff?
Um, you're not exactly well. Roll an Arcana check. We'll see if you know. Did you roll?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, I didn't get it. Just roll again. Hopefully it works.
Just spam it till it works.
Yeah, just spam it till it works, honestly.
Crash
I-
Matt's computer. Do it.
I did it.
Oh, it's not
Well.
showing up for us.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Try
I
refreshing
thought you
while
might
running.
have crashed it.
Woot solo dungeon crawl.
What?
What?
Can I like get out of here?
Just said that enough. She's like, "Get me out! Get me out!"
Nah, you're doing fine.
Yo, okay, I rolled like a 21 and a 24, so
Man, we still can't see it.
Yeah, I don't know what the
Son
heck is going on.
bitch. I am not lying. I should have taken a picture of this before.
Why? Now that you refreshed it, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means that it wasn't connected to the server.
Try rolling again now.
Oh,
There it
there we go.
goes.
Okay, 17. Not bad. Although you don't know teleportation magic necessarily, as your training is in divine magic, um, th- teleportation circles are utilized in teleportation spells. Um, there are some interplanetary, um, interplanar spells
There you go.
that can teleport, but teleportation circles are specifically used for the prime material plane.
Okay. I don't like being down here. It's scary.
So what do you want to do now?
I feel like I'm not like gaining anything by being down here. I mean, I got some potions or whatever, but what's high? Did it any more time pass?
I'd say now it's probably pushing 11. So you probably have about another 9 hours before the party starts to come looking for you.
Jesus.
Man, that's what happens when you succeed on your stealth check against the big bad boys.
I guess I will make my way back to the room with all the books and all that stuff. So I'll go back down the hallway. So I guess I'll go south through the north corridor.
Yeah, you go back up to the room with all the books.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get up there. Probably takes you about another hour to go stealthily to get back up there. So now midnight. So, what would you like to do?
Am I able to get to the books that are like behind the gated bookshelves? Like, am I able to get into those, or is it pretty?
I mean, you can certainly try. You can try to pick the locks or something. It's up to you. It's whether you want to or not.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't. Set off an alarm or something.
So, I mean, it's up to you what you would like to do.
I don't know. I guess I'll just, look through bookshelves. Just because there's a lot of bookshelves,
Yeah, there are. Um, so now hearing that conversation, is there any topics you'd be specifically interested in trying to find?
Um. Well, I feel like I don't know, like, would they not have any books on Wagner? Like, I feel like that would be in the gated section. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's whatever you think, but I mean, if you want to try to find stuff on Vecna, you can.
Yeah, I guess I'll do that.
Okay.
Do
So,
an investigation.
yep, investigation check. And I would have set an advantage with your background. So it is the 19. So you search through all the books and stuff. You find a few books on the various, gods and guardians of the library, and the battles that happen between Vecna and the guardians. The final showdown at the steps of the library on the in the plains, and the group of books that you collect. You kind of gather one or two candles and look and whatnot. How long do you want to spend reading? I mean, are you looking to just utilize the rest of your time just reading in the restricted section?
I
Or...
would say, but I wouldn't spend it all on Wagner.
Okay. What other topics would you be looking at potentially?
Like, I don't know. Maybe like things on how to I don't know, stop
Shadowfell
gods.
cultists.
So, like, things to stop what?
Like like gods and stuff.
Okay. So I would say, um, over the next, 6 to 7 hours, you're probably pushing, you know, dawn, beginning of morning, uh, on that stuff. I'll talk to you in person about what you read and learn and stuff, just so brevity.
Thank
um,
you.
but yeah. And I'll also say at this point that you're able to take a short rest as well. So, um, if you wanted to, you do have, you get your wild shapes back. Um, but you also get, if you desire, you can utilize your um, natural recovery.
What's that?
It's one of your abilities for the type of druid you are.
Not sure what that means. Yes, I will do that.
Okay. So that means you could take a third level spell. I would say I'll give you I'll give you 6 spell points.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty. So, you've done all your research. You put the books away the best of your ability. Locations you found them, and being a researcher, you know how to categorize and store books. So, you make sure to note where they originally were, how they were, put them back in the exact same spot, same way they were, and, clean up all your stuff. And you are free to do as you wish. You have probably about another 2 hours before uh, the party has begun looking for you. So, I mean, it's up to you.
I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty good.
Okay. So, are you gonna, I guess, begin your way out?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how are you looking to escape?
Guess I will. Sorry. No. Gaseous form.
Okay, so you're gonna boom, gaseous form under the door, through the keyhole, up along the rafters of the roof, boom, 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 out to the main hall. And you begin to exit the building.
Yeah.
All right. So now the sun is rising in the sky. You take. Well, no, you don't take a point of exhaustion because you did at least get a short rest, but it's only going to stave off your tiredness for a little bit. You are now outside of the Calicophora Maxima. Where do you want to go?
I guess I'll go somewhere. I don't know. Like.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you go, you find a place, spend like 3 silver, get a nice breakfast, a fruit parfait, and some bread, some pastries and things like that. A nice pot of tea. That'll probably take you an hour and a half. I'd say at this point, party probably is begun there. Oh shit, where's Leah? Um, so you're all done breakfast, so you're good there. What do you wish to do?
I'd like to find Z.
Okay. So, where are you going?
Guess I'll go back into the library where Z was last.
Okay. All right. So, I'll say that you begin searching and asking around, see if anybody's seen a lost dog. Well, wolf. A little bigger than a dog. If anyone's seen a lost wolf around, and you start giving people Z's descriptions, and they're like, sorry, I haven't seen him. I'm too busy researching and stuff, and being a nerd, and sorry, I have to get back to work, and you know, and you ask around, probably for another like hour and a half. You're like basically going door to door at this point, seeing, have you seen my dog? Have you seen my dog? Like, At this point, the rest of the party would have gone to the library, caused their snafu at with the front desk lady, found Z, searched for you. You were probably in one of the other wings searching for Z as Z was searching. And the party is beginning their walk out as you see them in the distance down the hall.
So I'd run up to them. You know, catch up and
I'm pretty sure John is completely clonked out at this point. Matt, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, guys. We, yeah, he's most certainly asleep now. There's
That's
no
okay.
doubt.
That's okay. So, if we want, because I'm pretty sure those of us that are awake are half asleep, and those of us that are asleep are fully asleep. So, it might
Yeah.
be a good point to